Okay, well, I finished up the French part of this braid of adding strands, so now we're just to finishing it off, which I actually think is the hardest part, especially when you have to flip it over your shoulder to keep braiding it, because then you don't have your shoulder to separate hair and it gets confusing. So you're gonna need a mirror at this point when you flip it over your shoulder, just to keep track of the strands. I can do a couple more behind and back, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm on my left side at the moment. And hopefully you guys did a better job of getting equal strands than I did, because I've got some really thin strands in here. But this shouldn't cause a problem for this tutorial. So now I'm going to do the right side. I'm going to do one more. Try to get as much behind my back as I can, because it just, yeah. Yeah, and I actually gave some hair to one of my thinner strands to try to even it out. So you're gonna see that when I flip around, but it should blend into the overall effect. You can do that if you mess up like I did and get too thick of strands. Just give it to a little bit of hair to the thinner strands. Okay, we're gonna do the right side again. I really can't go much farther at this point um, with behind my back. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm on my left side, but I always pull over to my right side just because I don't know, it feels better that way, makes sense. But if you pull over your left, just do that, so whatever works for you. And I'm going from my left side this time, so I just need to keep track of these two strands. So I'm going to use my mouth because it helps. And I'm going to end up putting the 4 right strands in my mouth. That way I only have to hold 5 strands with this hand. Okay. As you can see, again, this one's going to be higher, and so that's your far outside strand. So that's the one that's going to go under. So we're going to do that in a second. Let me get these back out of the way. So now it should be your outside strand in this hand, with your 4 in this hand. What you can do at this point is start combining, because you're going to be able to separate. And so I'm going to again put this in my mouth to help get things settled. And I just discovered I messed up, so I gotta fix something, so bear with me. I got a couple strands mixed up. That's why you need the mirror, so you can check these things. So now we're going to do the right side. So you're going to find your upper strand. It's going to be the highest one that's coming out. And then the second one, which will be the lowest one, the second highest one, but it's going to be going down. And again, I'm going to use my mouth because it helps. Go under, over, under, over. So your far outside strand that started in this hand should be in this hand now. And we're going to do the left side again, or the right side, I mean. So I'm going to actually just drop all these together because I can separate them later. And then just kind of use your hands and fingers to try to keep things separated. Like I said, this is the hardest part, and I think this takes the most concentration, but if you can get this down, you're going to be in great shape. So don't get discouraged at this point, just keep practicing, because you know what, you can always just tie it up at the end and the back, and it's still going to look cool anyways, but this just, for those of us that are obsessive and want to actually finish the braid, so just keep practicing at this point. Eventually you'll get your fingers to figure out what to do, and they'll start you'll be able to kind of weave it yourself with using your fingers, since your strands are going to stay basically separated because there's so much, and it's just important to get that outside strand to the middle and then pull tight. And then just keep going from there until you finish up the braid. So I hope everyone enjoyed this tutorial, and good luck, and just keep practicing. Don't get discouraged. It'll come eventually.